All right, welcome back to the N1 Sports Podcast. My name is Riley Viss. This is Blake Parks. And this will be the War Eagle kind of summary of week 1, which is December 1 through 8.
The 30th.
Well, the 30th.
November 30th through the 8th.
Some teams played on the 30th?
2 teams played on the 30th.
All right. War Eagle starts earlier than the Siouxland.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's get right into it. We take a look at the first game of the season, and it was Westwood versus Akron Westfield. This is a non-conference game, and a good win for Akron. I mean, any win this year is really going to help them.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they both shot 40% from the field. There was 3 total threes attempted in the entire game.
No, not made. Not attempted.
Oh, yeah,
made.
15 total attempted.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the rebounding kind of went towards Westwood's way, which doesn't really make sense why Akron won. And by history, Akron is 9-3 against Westwood. Last year is the only year that they lost since the first 2 meetings, and they got murdered, and then they beat them this year.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. If you want to jump into Akron.
Yeah, Akron, as a team, also had 10 steals. They did have 14 turnovers, however.
But
and
Westwood had
21
Can't read.
turnovers. So they did win the turnover battle. So I think down the stretch, that's how they ended up winning. And then they didn't do great, but they hit most of their free throws. They did shoot 45.8% from free throw. They did 11 of 24. And yeah, they both made 11 free throws. So this was just not
a score at the end.
Yeah, it's not a good shooting game.
No.
Can't really call it a defensive game either, but
Just two bad
it's
teams
just-
playing basketball, basically,
Yeah.
is what we're looking at here.
yeah, pretty much.
Your leading scorer was Blaine Deitchie with 15 points, 4 of 7 shooting, 7 of 12 from the free throw line. So he got there he had half their team's free throws. And then rebound, he actually had a double-double with 12 rebounds and 3 blocks.
That is not Akron Westfield's.
Oh, no,
Their
you're
lead-
right.
their-
You're right.
No, they have them both on the same team,
Yeah, I
but
know.
their leading scorer was actually Jackson Marnak with 19 points and 6 rebounds.
Here it is.
He's a freshman, 8 of 6, shot 50% from the field, 0 of 2 from 3.
Yeah, not much scoring here.
Yeah.
He was the only double-digit scorer on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's not much to talk about here,
No.
except for both teams are kind of doo-doo.
And Akron tied their wins from last year, so they started off pretty good.
Started out 1-0.
Yeah.
Them boys were pumped. I guarantee that one. They were hyped. But now let's move on to a real basketball team, so to say. It is Galen Catholic winning 74-40 over Lawton Bronson. Lawton Bronson's already 0-3. These teams must play a lot of games here early.
No, this is the record from now.
Right. Right.
No, this is for this following weeks too.
Yeah, no, that's their total record now.
Oh, now okay, yeah,
Yeah.
I understand now. All right.
Yeah. The biggest difference, okay, they went into halftime, and it was 34-25. Galen comes out on a 23-2 run in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter just looks like it was backups.
Yeah.
So 74-40. Galen's got their game stats, their team stats.
Yeah.
They shot 52% from the field.
46.2% from 3.
12 of
And
26 from 3. That's actually pretty impressive for
Then
high school.
100% from free throw, but they only shot 4.
Yeah. Leading scorer was Carter DeRocher at 27. Put it up, big guy. And then second one is their probably star player. He's a sophomore. Keaton Bonderson put up 19.
DeRocher had 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and Bonderson had 6 rebounds and 3 steals.
Yeah, both had 3 steals. Combined, they had 5 turnovers.
And as a team, they had 12 steals. So these two guys had half of the team steals.
Yep.
And as a team, Galen also had 20 assists. But what I found surprising about this one was Galen only committed 4 fouls. The
Yeah, I
whole
was
game.
just looking at that. That's crazy. It's very impressive. Defensively sound is what they look like this year. But yeah, not much to talk about here. Their historical matchup is 6-3. Lawton Bronson won 2 of the last 3, and yeah, always been kind of a decently close game within 25. So now we head over to December 1, where most of the states started their first games. And yeah, we're gonna mainly dive into the games that were actually games, like teams that actually are good this year, and the blowouts, we're just gonna run through it. So let's look at HMS and Galen Catholic once again. HMS starts out the season 0-1. Galen Catholic remains undefeated, 76-45 domination. Once again, Galen only goes into halftime with a 2-point lead. Third quarter 22-6, fourth quarter 22-9. Really just started pulling away.
Yeah, and other team stats. Both teams both had 6 steals, but HMS turned the ball over 17 times. Galen turned over 14 times.
Bonderson put up 27 points and DeRocher put up 21.
And they both combined for 15 rebounds.
Bonderson shot 58%. This kid's going off this year. Once he becomes a senior, he's going to be
Yeah.
probably like a 2 or 3 star commit somewhere. Somewhere's getting lucky. Lance Behrens, a sophomore out of HMS, looks like he was just a post guy, putting up team high
13 and 8 rebounds.
Yeah, they did not shoot well at all.
No, they
18
did
of
not.
51, 35%.
11% from 3, 2 of 18.
Wow,
There.
yeah.
And 7 of 13 for 53.8% from the free throw line.
Yep, and I mean, Galen dominates that historical matchup 10-2, so I mean, there's really no hope for HMS right now.
Yeah.
And their 2 wins that came were in 2019 in that season. So, Akron Westfield and Harris Lake Park. Harris Lake Park put up a senior night on their very first game of the season. That's weird. But before we dive into this, you got to know, coming into this ball game, Harris Lake Park is 8-0 against Akron. Makes sense. Final score is 80-47. Obvious. I mean, 60%.
Yeah.
Harris Lake Park shot 60% from
the
3
field.
and from the field.
They only, to be fair, they did shoot 6 of 10 from 3.
Right.
But from the field, shooting 60%, you
You're gonna win.
You better win.
2 20-point scores. That's Bubba Sohn and
Brody Bowley.
Bowles. I believe is how we pronounced that last year.
But I kind of like Bubba Sohn's stat line: 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists.
Yeah.
Nearly a triple double.
Yeah.
Wow.
2 steals and a block and a turnover.
Yeah.
2 fouls. Brody Boyles looks like he got in foul trouble at 4 fouls. Not sure when that came. That might have affected his 20 points. He could have had 25. 0 free throw attempts for him. Bubba went 1 of 3, which is pretty unusual. But he shot 50% from the field, or from the free throw, and 75% from the field.
And then Harris Lake Park also had 14 offensive rebounds.
Jeez.
They had, as a team, they had 26 assists, 8 steals, and only 7 turnovers. While Akron Westfield had 12.
Leading scorer for Akron in game 1 was Marnech, and he's a freshman, so this makes sense now. He's 3 of 11 in this ball game and only put up 6 points. Makes sense
And
now.
they are playing a better team, so
Yep.
it makes sense.
But leading scorer for them was Molinex, a senior.
16 points.
Yep, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, so it looks like they all kind of came from the free throw line.
Akron Westfield did shoot 11 of 14 from the free throw line, so that's pretty good, but not enough to get them the win.
Nope. And now this is terrible.
Yeah.
Remsen St. Mary's and Marcus Meriden Cleghorn coming into this game. It is 18-8. Remsen leads the history there. Remsen does. But it's battle of the town. I mean, you never see Boynton Hall versus Western, battle of the town. You never really see that except for scrimmages.
Or
But-
playoffs.
Right. Marcus shot 9 of 37, 24%. And Remsen shot 50%. Doesn't look like they had a great game. First quarter was 17-2. Second quarter was 29-8. It was over. and then 29-14 coming out of the third. So whatever that adds up to. But quick look into the stats.
Blaine Harpena, he had quite the game, 17 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, at a block, and then only had 4 turnovers.
But shot pretty bad, 6 of 13. And then you scroll down, you look at Carter Short, 6 of 9. Spencer Short's younger brother, despite his 3 turnovers and only 2 steals and only 1 rebound, he had 14 points and another double-digit scorer on the team. Jackson Bunkers, a sophomore, 5 of 12 shooting, not the best. 14 points though, and then a 9-point scorer, Austin Jensen. This team's pretty strong. And then Levi Waldschmidt, they're better than I thought they were.
Yeah, not much else to say about that team. That
No.
quite a few scorers.
Yeah, and you look at Remsen, they had 3 turnovers. 3 players with 4 turnovers. Never gonna win.
No.
It's hard enough to win with only 1 player doing that. And now we move on to Hinton and Trinity. I was watching in the first half, it was really close, and then I guess in the second quarter it was 24-11, so kind of pulled away. Hinton did. Hinton has not lost a game to Trinity except for 1. They lost 54-50 in 2017. So it's 15-1 in that matchup there. Hinton is 2-1 now. They won 77-50 over Trinity.
They shot 55% from the field, only missing 24 shots. Trinity shot 36%. 3-pointers, Hinton was 7 of 11. And for free throws, they only missed 5 free throws. While Trinity shot 51, basically 52% with 14 of 27. But Trinity had 22 turnovers.
Oh, man.
And of 22 turnovers, Hinton had 21 steals.
Damn.
And they also had 18 turnovers.
That's not healthy.
No.
And
Yeah, no, I was just going to go into the leading scorer for Hinton.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb Holmes, Jr., had 26 points, 6 assists, 4 steals. Then one other double-digit scorer was Tate Linton. He had 11 points, and Carson Pierce, a sophomore, had 9 points. And for Trinity, your leading scorer was Anthony Quaker at 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists.
All right. It sounds like a good game for them. We will move on and kind of speed this up we'll get into depth more in week 2, kind of, maybe week 3.
Yeah.
That's when we get really in depth.
This is just kind of a warm-up week.
Yeah, warm-up
You
week.
could say.
Got to jump back into it.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows who's the best scorers of every team. But Lamar's versus Unity, it was at Unity, and Lamar's takes this one 59-53. Not much to really look at there. It was out of conference.
Well, if you look at the scores, not much to look at. But if you watch the game,
You watched it?
it was the best
Yeah,
game. Like, I loved watching it.
yeah. It
'Cause-
looks like a good game.
Well, first half, Unity didn't really bring the intensity that they probably should have. Then all of a sudden, second half, they brought it right away.
And moving on to the final game of December 1, it is South O'Brien and West Sioux at West Sioux. West Sioux took that one 65-51.
I did watch a little bit of this game coming out of it's either coming in the second quarter or halftime. Right away, Mason Kopic, 3 or 4 straight threes.
Jeez.
And that's really what got the energy going for the team, and they ended up just pulling away.
Yep, and we look at December 3, Hinton takes on Woodbury Central, and they took them down they lost 61-54. Harris Lake Park took on Spencer. That's a really tough matchup. They lost
It is.
59-35. That's a 3A school going against a 1A school,
Yeah.
so not easy there at all.
No.
And then we move on to December 4. I believe this is Thursday,
Yeah, this is the Thursday matchups.
and I'll let Blake run through them real quick.
All right, so first up we have Akron Westfield taking on South O'Brien. Halftime was 37-3. And the final score ended up being South O'Brien winning it 59-15. That game, there's not much to really even talk about in that game at all.
Yeah, Akron's terrible
Yeah.
this year. Holy crap.
Galen versus Trinity's the next one. It was actually a fairly close game if you watched it. And then fourth quarter, they kind of pulled away, and Galen took it 53-40. Cherokee and Unity sound like it was actually a very good game. Unity took this one 71-61. And Western versus West Sioux. Western took
Yuck.
this in dominating fashion, 79-27.
That was even at West Sioux. Good thing there's no fans
It
there.
was.
A good game to start out with on Friday.
These are Saturday games.
Oh, okay, it's Saturday.
These are the Saturday.
I guess now it's Friday.
Yeah.
Trinity versus Siouxland Christian. I believe they play every single year as a non-conference
They do,
ball
yeah.
game. This game was at 4. 59-58. Looks like Trinity got their win at the end.
They did, yeah.
South O'Brien versus Sheldon. Siouxland versus War Eagle. And we got Siouxland taking this one 41-35. Sheldon pulls off the victory on Saturday. Marcus Merrigan, MMCRU versus GTRA. Kind of battle of both horrible teams.
Yeah.
GTRA takes that one 57-54. Westwood versus Hinton. This one's 76-70. 76-70. And Hinton took that one. Hinton, I believe, is 3-0, correct?
Hinton is 3-0 right now, yeah.
Perfect. All right, and now I guess that kind of wraps it up. Well, we can jump into the rankings, I suppose.
Yeah. All right, so as of right now, not really based off record, but how they played. Galen's number 1 at 3-0. Hinton's number 2. Remsen at number 3. Unity 4. West Sioux 5. Harris Lake Park 6. South O'Brien 7. Trinity 8. Akron number 9, not last finally. HMS 10th. And MMCRU coming in at 0-2 at number 11.
Those are very wild. Very
Yeah.
wild. It's only week 1.
Yeah. Like we said, it's kind of just like a warm-up week, getting back into it. By the time the end of the year comes, it's going to be completely different.
Yes, sir. Anyways, that's going to wrap it up. We will see you on the Siouxland podcast and see you at next week's games. Not out there, but we will see you recapping
See you
it.
next week.